What is going on, everybody? It's your boy Average Leader here with my first video in 2021. Happy New Year, guys! I know 2020 didn't go our way, but I see a bright future ahead of us in 2021. We just got to keep our heads up and keep pushing. Today I'm doing a different type of video. I'm going to talk about how I got internships in 2 Faang companies and how you guys can get an internship in 2021. Now, before we start, if you guys can go ahead and hit that subscribe and like button, that would mean the world to me. It helps my channel out a ton by giving it more exposure to people that don't know me. And without further ado, let's get right into it. So let's talk about me. I'm an average guy, hence my name Average Leader. I'm not super smart. I don't come with years of experience. I don't have a big, fancy, life-changing project. I've been rejected by so many companies and I've failed hundreds of interviews. But I was just persistent in my internship search, super serious about my interview preparation, and above all, tremendously lucky. Now, somewhere along the lines, I realized that getting an internship at my dream company came down to 2 things: acquiring the interview and acing the interview. Acquiring the interview, in my opinion, is the more challenging of the 2 because usually it is a long waiting game where you apply and you wait for months to hear back with a possible interview. But I'm going to give you guys 3 big tips that I've used to expedite this process. 1. Get as many referrals as you can at different companies. I got referrals for both of my companies and I heard back with an interview much faster than I did in previous years where I just applied online. I think referrals are extremely important and incredibly helpful because with a referral, a company is utilizing their employees' network to pick the best possible candidate for the role. Think about it like this. If you had a group project that required 4 people and you had 2 of your close friends working on it with you and needed a 4th person, would you rather have a random person working in that 4th role or have someone that maybe your close friends know? I personally would pick the latter option, and I think most companies work the same way. You can get referrals in 4 main ways. 1. If you know a current employee or intern of the company, ask them to refer you. 2. If you know someone who is going to intern for the company in the future, ask them to refer you in their final weeks of their internship. That's when most companies will ask their interns if they have anyone they want to refer. And this is how I got my referrals. 3. If you know a friend that has received an offer to intern at a company but hasn't accepted, hence they're not actually an intern of that company yet, ask them if they can refer you to the recruiter. 4. If all else fails and you don't know anyone that could personally refer you, cold message an employee or intern on LinkedIn and ask them if they can refer you. Now, these last 2 methods don't have the highest success ratio in my experience, but I have friends that have gotten their interviews this way. Just because they have a lower success rate, in my opinion, doesn't mean that you shouldn't try them. The worst case scenario is someone tell you, no, I can't refer you. But the best case scenario is that they do refer you, and that referral lands you an interview, and that interview lands you an internship at that company. So don't sleep on the referrals. That being said, a referral is not a straight path to an interview. It definitely helps your chances, but I've also received referrals for companies that didn't move me forward, so keep this in mind. The second big tip to get an interview faster is to go to every single company networking event that your school holds. Career fairs, company meet and greets, and company days at your school are a goldmine of opportunities. There's nothing that beats that personal one-on-one connection you make when you're talking to a recruiter or software engineer. And if your dream company isn't at your school that day, but another is, go visit them anyways with the goal of bettering yourself. I personally use each networking opportunity to perfect my elevator pitch and how I talk about my past experiences. By going to these events, you are significantly raising your chances of getting an interview at that company, as well as perfecting your skills for future opportunities. You'll never know when we'll see these companies again, so take advantage of these opportunities while we have them as college students. The third big tip to get an interview is to apply as early as possible. Most of the Faang companies open their applications in August, but some of them, as well as the trading firms, open their sweet applications as early as July, with interviews given out on a rolling basis, as in first come first served, as in FIFO, as in CUBE. You get the point. The earlier you apply to these companies, the better shot you have at getting an interview because there are more spots open. The later you apply, the less spots there are that you're competing for, so there's a chance that recruiters and hiring managers are a bit more selective. And this also applies to referrals. Just because you get a referral in May when most companies are done recruiting doesn't mean you have an interview for a spot that summer. Get those referrals in as early as possible so you can apply as early as possible, thus giving yourself the best possible chance of getting an interview. All right, so you followed these steps. The interview has been acquired. Congratulations. That is a huge accomplishment in and of itself, and you should be proud. Now, you are a few 30 to 60-minute interviews away from your dream internship. Hopefully, up until this point, you've either done some light to moderate interview preparation, meaning like 1 to 3 problems a day. But now, it's time to really hone in on the interview preparation. Interview problems are scary, but the issue is people don't prioritize them enough in my opinion. If you look at the top CS people at your schools who are getting offer after offer, all they did was figure out how to interview. Interviewing is like test taking. The more you do, the better you become. And once I realized this, I rescheduled my entire school semester so I can get a bit of interview preparation every day, in the morning and at night. I divided interview preparation into 2 categories. 1, material review of data structures and algorithms, and 2, applying this knowledge in problems. For the material, it's important to know the ins and outs of all the data structures, including array list, linked list, stack, queue, deck, heap, binary search tree, hash map, hash set, dynamic programming, binary tree, bubble sort, insertion sort, selection sort, merge sort, quick sort, k-select sort, graphs, breadth first search, depth first search, Dijkstra's, Kruskal's, topological sort, try. And it's equally important to know some interview techniques, including but not limited to sliding window, binary search, cumulative sum, and recursion. And it's also important to know the time and space complexities of everything that I mentioned. Although this seems like a lot to take in, I think the vast majority of interview problems for interns revolve around these concepts that I grouped over here. If you are crunched for time to prepare for your interview, I would hone in on problems that utilize these data structures and interview techniques and maybe gloss over the other stuff. Luckily, there are tons of resources out there to help depending on what you need, which by the way, I'll link everything in the description. For an in-depth explanation of all the important data structures and algorithms, I personally really like the MIT 6.006 lectures and Free Code Camp's Data Structures Easy to Advanced course. Both can be found on YouTube. They are very detailed and will get the job done. And if you don't have a lot of experience or knowledge in data structures or algorithms, you should probably start here. If you are a bit more advanced and know the data structures but need a quick refresher, you can never go wrong with cracking the coding interview, as the renowned author Gail Lockman McDowell does a phenomenal job explaining each data structure. I use this before each of my interviewing periods and will give it a quick read to jog my memory on all the important concepts. After you feel confident with the material, it's time to apply your knowledge by doing as many interview problems as you can. Once again, there are plenty of resources that you can use to better your interviewing skills. Cracking the coding interview has data structure specific problems that you can work on at the end of each chapter. LeetCode, HackerRank, and CodeSignal will become your best friends. All have hundreds of problems you can do to sharpen your skills. I personally like LeetCode the best because I tend to see more problems from LeetCode in my interviews, but to be honest, a lot of problems are very similar across all interview preparation platforms, so just pick one and go ham on the problems. Interviewing is everything, but don't worry, it's feasible. All you have to do is practice, so make it a priority. Make it your New Year's resolution. Do whatever it takes to get some practice in every day, so by the time you have a big interview lined up, you feel confident in yourself to tackle that interview. With great preparation and a bit of luck, you can conquer these interviews. And ladies and gentlemen, that's all I have for you. Let me know what you think. If you found any value, give this video a big like and subscribe to the channel. Also, follow my LinkedIn. Link is in the description. With that all out of the way, Happy New Year, guys, and I'll see you guys next time.
I know what you're thinking, and I don't blame you. Everybody trying to get your attention.